He's a swimmer, he's a runner, he's a cyclist, and a world champion. He is Chris McCormack, better known as Macca.
I'm sitting here with the amazing Chris McCormack, 12-time Ironman champion, 5-time World Triathlete of the Year. He's also the executive chairman of Thanyapura, and my classmate's dad.
Chris, you have done so many successful things in your life. What is the pinnacle of your career?
The pinnacle for me was winning my last World Championship in 2012 because my family got to see it. I'm a lot older now, and my kids, Talia, who's in your year at school, and my daughter, Sienna, and they were there to witness that. And so they got to understand what their dad did. At all the other times in their life, it was just swimming, biking and running, but they really got to understand that this was my job and it was something I loved, and it was great as a father, as a parent, you'll learn this one day, to teach your kids that it's good to have dreams and aspirations as a youngster and to chase them and, you know, chase your dreams. And I was glad that my kids got to see my last World Championship. So that for me was the pinnacle. Even though it was also the end of my career, it was the pinnacle in that sense.
What was the lowest point of your career and how did you overcome it?
The lowest point in my career was most definitely when I lost my mother to breast cancer. She passed away in 1999, just before the Sydney Olympic trials. I had to move home to Australia, and it was just a really, really low point in my life. And I really contemplated retiring from triathlon, and because I'd been away for so long, and I felt like such a selfish son, because I hadn't been home to see my mum, so make sure you go home and see your mum. And and I lost her really, really quickly in 7 days. And so I sort of dropped out. I missed the Olympics because I was sort of on this sabbatical of discovering who I was and whether I was a good son or not a good son. There was a lot of guilt attached. So it was a really difficult period in my life. And then I met an amazing woman who is now my wife, Emma. And she sort of got me back on track and helped me find myself again. And and got me out of that dark period. But there was a period from end of 99 till early 2000 where I, mid 99 to early 2000, where that was a low point of my athletic career. I was done mentally.
What does it mean to train smarter and not harder, and how can kids do this in school?
Train smarter, not harder. I think it's in sport, it's very, very easy just to get very caught up with doing certain things, and in my sport it's endurance sport, which means, you know, you go faster for longer. So a lot of athletes think that by doing more you get better, and that's not actually the way of doing it. There's a common a phrase that's thrown around a lot that's actually wrong, and that's that practice makes perfect, and that's not actually true. Perfect practice makes perfect. So by training smarter, you really focus on the little things. And don't get caught up in doing so much of something. Do everything you do correctly, and it's better to be consistent in doing things right than doing a lot of it wrong. And for kids at school, I think that's fundamentally transfers to school, because you don't have to be the one who sits at home and does homework for 5 hours. Just pick a subject at home and go, okay, tonight I'm going to focus on this, and do it really, really well, and then switch off and go and be a kid.
Were you a good student?
I think depends who you speak to. I hope I was. I think I was. My parents were very pushy is the wrong word, but my father really wanted me to do well at school, and I always felt an obligation to do that for them. And so I wouldn't say I was the smartest kid in the class. I definitely wasn't, but I think I definitely worked the hardest. So I maximised whatever I got out of school, and I was relatively average at school. My younger brother was really lazy but really smart, and I used to find that really difficult. But yeah, I'd say I was a good student. I was well behaved. I was never expelled or suspended.
Okay. What is more important, talent or believe in yourself?
I never saw myself as ridiculously talented. I saw a lot of kids, especially when I was your age and a little older, that were so much faster than me, and they swam quicker and they ran faster. But I think I really wanted to do this. So I think belief, and I like to talk about a word, passion. This was something I wanted to do. I wasn't forced into being a runner or doing triathlon. It was a sport I found. I got a lot of joy out of it personally. And I think that joy manifested into talent over time, because that joy made me go out and train. So I'm going to say belief more important than talent, because talent can be nurtured and brought about. And I've met some of the most talented athletes in the world that you aren't talking to right now because they didn't win anything because the belief and passion wasn't there. So let's stick with belief.
How important is support from your friends and family?
Are the most important, and I think you take that really for granted when you're young. You don't realise it because you set these lofty goals for yourself, and you get very consumed personally in trying to get those, achieve those, whether it's to win a state championship or to win a national championship or be the best in Phuket. This is all you focus on, and you tend to forget about all the people that help you on that journey. But as you get older and you realise the sacrifices others make, my mother and father drove me to training every day. I just took that for granted when I was a kid, and I look back at it now and I think, man, like all these things, that had they not done that, I would never have been here. So it's so important to have the support of family and friends, because they help you on your journey to the top, and they're the great people to celebrate when you win, and they're great people to fall back on when things aren't going well. So they're as important as the training.
What advice can you give to kids to help them realise their dreams in sports alive?
I think my advice, because even though you get older now, it doesn't seem like that long ago. I was the kid at school when the old athlete used to get up, and they would tell you, you can do it, you just got to believe. And now it's funny talking to you because I'm that guy going, you can do it, but you really can. And my advice to kids is dream big, and don't let people tell you what you can't do, because people are very, very good at saying, people are amazing at telling you what you can't do. Not many people are good at telling you what you can do. And you just listen to that voice in your head that tells you that you can do it, and don't listen to the negative people that tell you you can't, because they're a dime a dozen. You'll meet them again in life. And it's the people you'll find with sport and successful people in life, they're great people to be around because they're forward thinking, they're ambitious, they're positive people, and they're the people you want to put in your life. So my advice to kids is dream big and chase your dreams. Do it. Just really have a go. You can never fail. I always say fail is your first attempt at learning. Yeah, first attempt at learning.
Fail goes your brain.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there any sports that you're bad at?
Oh, most sports. I think that's why I do swimming, biking, and running, because they're the sports I found that I was good at. I was never really much of I loved playing soccer, football as a kid, and but I really enjoyed individual sports because I felt that for every bit of effort I put in, I could control my destiny to some degree. You can play soccer and try your hardest and work hard, but you're very, very dependent upon other people. Where in my sport, individual sports, I felt that there was effort versus reward, and I like that. I'm a very simple guy. I like being able to control things, and so most sports that were team sports I was not good at, and I never really played much else. Swim, bike, ran, bit of surfing, soccer, and but most things I'm not really the best at, to be honest.
How about let's do a challenge?
Okay.
Run around the whole entire Thanyapura running track, but you have to have your leg tied.
Let's do it. We can get some of the. We've got a whole bunch of athletes here at the moment. We've got Jenson here, who's a Formula One. I know you love your Formula One. He's here. And we've got Marcus and his coach Alex. They're here, and we're going to have a run later. Do you want to start the run with us? Have you got your running shoes?
Yes, I'm going.
We're going to do a run out at the gates. You could probably run like the first kilometre with us if you want. You're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. You want to do that? Come on.
Okay.
Done. This is Jenson. This is Max.
How you doing, Max? You right?
Yeah. Big F1 fan.
Wicked. Are you a journalist?
He's the journalist.
Excellent. Learned a lot about you. Talking about you at the lunch break. How did he go? Was he
He was really good.
How about you? Was he good? Was he good?
Getting the chance to interview Chris McCormack was really cool and inspiring, but ending the day running with 2 F1 stars and 2 triathlon champions, I couldn't imagine it in my wildest dreams.
Good job, Maxie.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, man.
Awesome. Have a great run.
Beauty.